Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Jen and this is Jen Restyle and Fashion. All right, you guys, so if you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't, you should. This is my Instagram below, Jen Restyle Fashion. I have been doing and creating with ties a lot. So if you all know, a couple years ago, I made a tie dress, a tie skirt. I recently did a tie vest over here, and so I've been trying to do some more creative things with ties because I feel like they are so super versatile, and I just want to give you guys as many options as possible. So hop on over there and you can see. One of the things that I made was a tie out of camo fabric. So if you remember a couple years ago, if you guys been around, you know that I created this kind of 3/4 length camo jacket, and I patterned it after Halle Berry's jacket. I also covered some boots and, you know, did this camo boot thing, which I actually think I'm going to do again because those boots were just... And I've got an old pair of boots that I was thinking about giving away. I think I'm going to cover them. And I never did the tutorial for that, so I may come back and do that a little later. Anyway, so I made this jacket and I had a lot left over from the project. And I have not done anything with it, so I decided to cut out a tie. And my way is a little unconventional, so you don't have to come for me in the comments, but I do understand that ties are cut on the bias. I totally understand that. I've been sewing for years. I know that. But for some of us, we may not have those scraps laying around that allow us to cut it on the bias, but we still want a really cute tie. And you can still have it. Now, will it lay exactly the same? Will it? No, not exactly, but you'll get the look. So that's what we want. We want to get the look with this project. And later on, I will show you how I'm creating a tie out of more silky or, you know, a silk or satin type of fabric, and using tie interfacing and how to do it properly. We can do all that later. But right now, so that we can get the project done, we're gonna do this upcycle from some leftover fabric that I have out of camo fabric. So let's jump into that DIY, and then I'll be back at the end. Okay, let's get into creating this tie out of the camo fabric. Now I'm using another tie as my guide and pattern, but for those of you who understand, ties are supposed to be cut on the bias. Well, I do not have enough camo jackets or fabric to cut on the bias, so we're going to cut across the grain, which is going to change the way this tie is going to lay. And so that's something to keep in mind. If I was to create this tie the correct way, I would probably need about maybe 2 or 3 jackets in order to cut it on the bias. So this is a little unconventional, but I will do a video later to show you how to create a tie correctly with a piece of fabric cutting on the bias, but that's for another day. All right, so right now I have taken the tie and I've used my chalk to trace around and create the full length. Now I'm looking at the sleeves and the other parts of the jacket to see what embellishments I want to add to the tie. Once I figure out those pieces that I want to add, then I look to see exactly where they need to be placed. This is important because if you're going to do anything other than tie the tie like a normal tie, then you don't want to have buttons and plackets and things in the way. So most of those buttons and flaps and seams you want to put towards the end of the tie or towards the tail of the tie, and not in the middle where you might be folding and creating a knot and all of those things. So we're going to move through this one. Now that I have traced around all of the tie, the full length, I'm going to begin to cut the pieces out. And again, this is something that you could do with any kind of fabric. I'm only doing this way with the camo fabric just because I only have what's left over from a previous project. And if I had more, I would cut this on the bias correctly. But I am going to do, like I said, another tie. So I am taking my time to cut the pieces of the tie out, and once they're all cut out, I will make a determination on where I'm going to add the embellishments. But for right now, I just want to make sure that I have the full length of the tie. And my suggestion is to give yourself a little extra. Give yourself a little extra because you have a seam allowance, and give yourself a little extra because you just don't know how you're going to play around with this tie. Back, although I'm only going to use one of these. We've got the middle part of the tie, and then we have the tail end. So now we're going to the sewing machine to connect all of these, sew them up. Honestly, this is so quick and easy as long as you already have a tie. And then we have this and that, which we could just do it plain like that. If we wanted to use the pieces that don't have any other embellishments on it, you can always, and maybe we will. Maybe we'll do 2 ties. I think I will. I think I'll do 2 ties. Yeah, I'll do 2, and we'll run these buttons down the front like that. So I need to cut one more tie. You know what? We'll just leave it. This is how my brain operates when I start creating. I start getting like so many other ideas, and I just need to stay right where I am. All right, let's go to the machine. All right, we're gonna start first with putting the embellishments on the tie, getting those out of the way. I tend to want to keep embellishments that are a little heavier and weightier like this towards the end of the tie, because depending on how I want to style it, if I'm not wearing it as a regular necktie, I don't want the design to get caught up in the knot. So we're gonna do this epaulette that was on the jacket closer here to the bottom, and then we're gonna put these 2 buttons here in the middle, and it's okay that they're not completely centered. I am going to trim a little closer to the stitch line like that, and then I'm gonna place this right here at the top. And I do need to, yeah, of course I'm getting ready to sew, and I don't have any bobbin left. And all of my, you know what, I'm gonna just try to use the last bit of this and wind a bobbin at the same time, because I really want to use black or beige thread underneath. This might get us through the embellishments, but I don't know. All right. And what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button below and click on that bell so that you don't miss an episode. Let's get back to this upcycle. Okay, the camera had to cool down, but I just stitched around that the same way I stitched around here. I'm gonna even off this top part here and just make it straight. like that. Okay. No doubling there. All right, so now we've got our other pieces that we're working with. Now, I'm gonna just use one of the lower portion of the tie, and I'm gonna see how this matches up with the one that we made. And I think the one that I created with the embellishments on it is just a little bit wider, but it's okay. I don't mind that it's a little off. It doesn't actually have to be perfect. So I am placing pins here in the middle to hold it. Okay, so I'm going to even it off like that. And then we're going to go to our middle pieces. So if you notice, our middle pieces are a little wider here, and then they get more narrow at the bottom. So we're going to do the same thing here and even these off like that. And then going to do the same thing at the bottom and just make these even across the bottom. All right, now with right sides together, I'm going to take this wider portion and do right sides together. Make sure that's centered as much as possible. Put a couple pins in there. That's on one side. Then on the other side, same thing. So as you can see, it is a little more narrow than what we have, and it's okay. Don't be concerned if your pieces don't match up perfectly. Then we're gonna attach the tail. So the way I can distinguish one end from the other, the tail of the tie has the little triangular shape there, and then the other one is not. So I'm going to bigger than that. It's not necessary. Off a little bit on this side. So I'm using about 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so there we go. There's our tie. All right, we're gonna go style it. Okay, there we go. So here's the tie that I made yesterday. And I think this is gonna go really nice either on the outside or even tucked in like that on the inside. So I think that's gonna be really nice. So I'll just do a little bit with you guys, and hopefully you guys can see me okay. I think I'm gonna invest in a microphone because, and you're crooked. I think I'm gonna invest in a microphone because, yeah, that's better. Because I feel like when I back up, and I know you guys hear the TV in the background, but when I back up, I feel like the sound is not as crisp. Okay, so I feel like I'm good right here. What is that? I'll be right back. Let me clean up the back. All right, you guys, so I finished recording my video, my reel. At least I did one. I'm gonna need to do another. I ended up just tying the tie regular, kind of bringing it down a little bit, but just letting it hang. I just thought that looked a lot better. Let me just bring the camera down some so you can see the whole outfit. Yeah. But I will pop the reel up over here. Make those rainbows in my mind when I think of you sometime, and I want to spend some time with you. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. I hope that video was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if you try this. If you do, just send me a DM on Instagram or on Facebook. Jen Restyle Fashion on Facebook, Jen Restyle Fashion on Instagram, Jen Restyle on Twitter, and on X rather, and Jen Restyle on Threads. Okay, yep, I'm on all the platforms, and Jen Restyle on TikTok, which I don't really use a lot, but I'm gonna try to get around to that. And if you're looking for any kind of anything that I have on in my videos that you're interested in, definitely hop on over to my Like to Know It store. I am filling up my store with lots of different items, from clothing to beauty to Amazon products. Click that Like to Know and check me out. Follow me over there because everything will be over there. And when I say everything, I mean literally everything. So you guys have been asking me about my watches. The watches will be over there. Well, if you guys don't know yet, I'm in a study. That's why I have on so many watches with Northwestern Hospital. So that's one of the reasons. But this dress that I have on came from Walmart. I am going to put it over in the Like to Know It store. My monogram initial necklace is from Miss Blue. It's not in the Like to Know It store, but I am linking some similars over there so that if you want to check that out. Today I'm wearing my Prada boots, my patent leather Prada boots that I thrifted when I was in Paris. And those are over there as well, so you can check those out. And even my jewelry is over there, my earrings and everything. All right, you guys, so thanks so much for joining in this week, and I will see you back very soon. I'm trying to catch up on videos now that the fashion show is over, so yes, I can finally breathe for a minute in between fashion shows. All right, you guys, see you next week. Take care. Bye.